So, welcome back to my channel. My name. Okay, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jubilee, but you can call me Juby. Today's video is how I why am I blanking on what I'm doing today? My transition from living, US to Tanzania and back to Tanzania. The first chunk I probably don't remember much because I was really little, but the rest I'll be able to fill in based on like what I can remember. But that's also it depends on how much I actually remember. Anyway, so while I do that, I'm going to, my nails are, I don't really want to show them. I've let them grow for one really long. Like, let me just show you the one that's like, the one that's like not that bad. So I've kind of let all of them grow like that, but like they're very chipped from like nail polish that I haven't removed. So I need to do that. So I apologize for the glare, like from the ring light and whatever, but I have to keep my glasses on to do this because your girl can't see. I really can't see, so I need my glasses for this. So for those who don't know, I was originally born in New York, specifically Staten Island, New York, but I lived in Brooklyn. This is not something I remember personally. This is what my mom told me, so it could be true or not. I don't know. Like, I don't have no evidence to back that up other than my mom, and I'm pretty sure that she didn't lie to me about that. Anyway, so when I was 2.5 years old, I went to live in Tanzania with my grandmother and my older sister. My older sister was already living there. So I went to go live with my grandma and my sister, and my mom stayed in the States. And I was, according to them, I was very excited to go to Tanzania to meet my sister for the first time. Knowing me is probably true, probably true. So we lived in Moshi. That's where we lived for majority of the time. My grandmother was a school teacher, so she used to be a school teacher, but growing up she didn't really do it as often. Like, she would still do it here and there, but like she wasn't really doing it often. She was more into like the church, and like I could not tell you what work she did at the church, but I just know she was more into the church and stuff like that. So during breaks, like school breaks, my sister and I would go to Dar where my aunt lived, my mom's oldest sister, and we would stay with her during like holidays or school breaks. And honestly, our life was kind of like two completely different like realms, if that makes sense. Like in Tanzania, in like Moshi, it was like more laid back, and like, we would stay in our compound, because like we have this huge compound. Like, yeah, we stayed, like, we had cows in our compounds. At some point we had chickens. We had dogs. Dogs did not live inside. Y'all know how I feel about dogs. Like yeah, dogs lived outside as well. we just had so many different type of things. We also had like a garden. Like it was just really huge. It still is this really huge compound where we lived. And then when we went to my aunt's house in Dar, it was more of city vibes because she lived kind of in like a, yeah, kind of in the city vibes. It was more like there was no garden, there was like stuff like that. I went to school there from basically K through 4, and while I lived there I went to 2 different schools. If I can remember, one of them was called St. Anne and the other one was called St. Louis. I think I went to St. Anne from K, no, actually no, not K. I also went to a kindergarten, like it was like a pre-K and a kindergarten. It was called, what's it called? Moshi Kindergarten? I think that's what it was called. Yeah, Moshi Kindergarten. I went to the, oh my God. But yeah, that was like a pre-K and like a kindergarten garden. And then for starting 1st grade, I went to St. Anne. I think I went there from 1st through to 3rd, and then when I was in 3rd grade, I moved to St. Louis, and I went there until I was in 4th grade, and then I came back to the States during 4th grade. So when I came back to the state, I actually started 4th grade over again. Yeah, I actually did. I actually started 4th grade over again, but I wasn't like a year behind. Actually, I was a year ahead of my peers because I was about to finish 4th grade in TZ. That transition was weird because the school, as I mentioned in my growing up 1st generation college talk, yeah, it was not the smoothest. It's not the smoothest. So we moved back. When I moved back to the States, we were living in New York, and I went to Park Slope Christian Academy. It was like a private school, and we were there for less than a year. So I started 4th grade there, and I ended up then we moved to Maryland. And I finished 4th grade. We moved to Maryland. We moved to Baltimore, Maryland. And then I went to Newtown Elementary. Newtown Elementary, and I basically finished my 4th and 5th grade year there. And then after that, we went to, I went to a magnet school. I went to a magnet middle school for 2 years. It was called Deer Park Middle Magnet School. Actually such a great school. So I went there, and my magnet was visual arts because I really thought I was gonna be an artist. I really thought I was gonna be an artist in these streets. I mean, I still feel like I can do it, but like then I was really convinced, like, yeah, I'm about to be Picasso. I'm about to be Picasso. No, it was really just like, you know. Anyway, so I went there, and then what did I go? Then we moved within Maryland to like a different, it was literally like not that far from our old house, but we moved to another area, and then we ended up I ended up having to switch school, so I went to Franklin Middle School from because I went to Deer Park 6th and half of 7th, and then Franklin half of 7th and the rest of 8th. That makes sense. Then after that, no, like this literally video is gonna show you how much I've moved. Like I've moved so many times in my life. It's not funny, and like I'm not even like in a military base, and like my mom, like family, like it's more common to see that in like families that are like military. Ooh. these nails, they need help. Anyway, but no, like literally moved so many times, and it was for different reasons. But I'm just sharing this because I feel like I learned so much from those experiences, and like, yeah, that's why I think it's really cool. Even though like at the moment I was just like, ugh, moving so much, but it was cool. So where were we? So now we are in middle school. No, we're about to graduate middle school. Now we're about to go to high school. Yeah, high school. So high school, literally, went to Franklin High School, which is like, I guess the continuation of Franklin Middle School. Went there for 1 week. Sorry, I did not mean to give y'all the finger. Went there for 1 week. Only 1 week, and I had to move. Then we had to move to Ohio. That's where we are now. That's where I've been ever since. And honestly, this is the longest state I've ever lived in. I've never lived in a place longer than I've lived in Ohio, to be honest. Like, obviously you can tell from the storyline, like, Ohio has been, like, I've been here since I was a freshman in high school, and now I'm about to graduate college as a senior, so it's been the longest. Anyway, so we moved to Ohio, and I went to, I'm about to forget, I went to Beechcroft High School, and it was actually not it was not as bad of a transition for real. Easier than I expected it to be. I went there for 2 years. Then we moved again within Ohio. And then I went to, where did I go? Oh, like that's where I graduated. I literally blanked out on school. Westerville Central is where I graduated high school. So then I, obviously in college, I stayed here for college, and I mean, I'm not in Columbus. My college isn't in Columbus, but it's still in Ohio. And y'all, that was really the storyline of how I got here, from TZ to US, or from US to TZ to US again, and hopefully back to TZ soon. So out of the 2 countries that I've lived in, I will have to big up TZ, because I mean, like, at the time I feel like I didn't appreciate it as much, because I was just like so intrigued of how it would be like to live in the States. But now looking back, all my favorite memories are from when I lived in Tanzania. Like, my really good, like, feel good memories are when I lived in Tanzania. So I really, out of the 2 countries, I think my favorite is hands down living in Tanzania. I mean New York. The US has its perks too. There are things that I like about it, but Tanzania is definitely tip top. Because I've lived in 2 countries, 5 states. Out of the 5 states, because it was Moshi, Dar es Salaam, New York, Maryland, and Ohio. It's my favorite. I'm gonna list them from most to least. Top favorite is Moshi. It's like such a laid back state, and yeah, it's just like also reminded me so much of my childhood. So I would have to say Moshi is my favorite state. That's where the heart is. Then after that is New York. New York is pretty up there. Then I'll go with Dar, and I'll go with Maryland. But like, I feel like Dar and Maryland are kind of tied. And then Ohio is literally like, yeah, sorry to Ohio, but like, even if I saw Ohio across the street, I wouldn't be able to yeah, Ohio has not been my, even though it's been the longest one. I am growing, like it's growing on me a little bit, but like I don't know how people do it. I really don't know. I don't know how people do it because out of the schools that I went to, which is my favorite school, I actually will give it up to Deer Park. Deer Park was a great school. Like I really was able to be such a creative, and I really loved it that time because I'm a creative person, and it wasn't all about academics. You know, I love that they focused on your other talents. Like you could have a magnet in anything. It could be some people had a magnet in theater, some had in dance, mine was in art. You know, it could literally be anything, and I really loved that they helped kids find other passions or how do you say it? Like, you know, explore other things other than just academics. So that's checked off as top. I'm not gonna list all the schools' favorite, but I'm gonna say how many schools I've been to. So let me count. Washington, St. Louis, Oxford, Newtown, Deer Park, Franklin, Beechcraft. In total, in grade school, I went to 10 different schools, which is a lot because on average, people go to only 3, sometimes just 2. For me, it wasn't that way. I went to so many different spots, I met so many different people, and I think the advantage and the cool thing about moving so much is that I did get to meet a lot of new people. And as crazy as it sounds, like every time I moved, I got to like reinvent myself because like nobody knows you, so you're like, you could literally be anyone you want, and it's like kind of cool kind of cool that you can do that because it's like, yeah, it's like I'm a new person, you know. Yeah, that's really my story from how I came from TZ to the US, and like here I am now. Ooh. Here I am now. Like I said, Ohio is starting to grow on me. It's not been my favorite place, but you know, it's due to certain different circumstances that I really did not enjoy. But out of all of the places I lived, I have grown the most, obviously, here because I lived here the most. But I went through the hardest times in Ohio, and I don't know, like I feel like just this past summer is when I really saw the potential of liking this state, because I kind of like, I did my internship in the city, and like there was actually a lot of things to do. There's actually a lot of things to do in Columbus. I was like, oh, okay. So I feel like I'm going to give it a chance to see. I'm going to give Columbus a chance and like actually explore, like I've literally been Pinteresting like things to do in Columbus, Ohio, so that I can become a tourist in my own city, because I just feel like, you know, I need to give it a chance. And then once I do that, then I can be like, I can literally give it a good critique. So if you moved a lot or lived in different places, different countries, I would like to hear your story. Where have you lived? Like, what country have you lived in? What state have you lived in? And yeah, I think that's really, I really like to, I think it's really interesting to know where people have lived and like things that people have experienced, because it's just like, sometimes you wouldn't think by seeing someone for the first time that they've had all these different experiences. So, and if you've never moved and you've only lived in one place for all your life, that's kind of cool too. I don't know. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Love always, Juby.